Perfect.
Are you ready?
I am.
It's a 3, it's a 2, yes. Okay, so this is actually a new series that I'm looking to do called Thriving Thursday, where I interview people that inspire me and that I believe are an inspiration to others. I am ecstatic, I'm inspired, I'm happy, joyous, every emotion that you can explain right now because of the individual that I have sitting to my right. Rah Kalon is, you know what? Instead of me always explaining it, I want to allow her to tell you who she is and what she does. So first, thank you for being here with me.
Thank you for having me.
First and foremost, if you would just introduce yourself and tell us who you are.
So my name is Rah Kalon, they, she pronouns. I am an emotional intelligence consultant. I am a lover of love. I am a meditation facilitator. And I am your inner child's fairy godparent. You just might not know that yet. I spend the majority of my time connecting with people who want to know more about themselves. I own and have created the emotional intelligence platform Rah Kalon Coaching and Consulting, where we work with individuals, couples, community members, corporations to help them understand that they are more than grief, more than anxiety, more than depression, and that we all have our own perceived barriers, but the door is often locked from the inside.
We're going to touch on that a little bit later because you know that here we live inspired every day, forever, because that's life. And what she just spoke about is very important to us being able to do that. Because a lot of times we might hear, live inspired, but then it's like, how do we do that?
Yeah.
So as an EQ consultant, I mean, I have somewhat of a musical background. So when I heard EQ, I'm like, is he mixing and mastering? And actually,
in a way,
that's what you're doing. You're able to mix and master individuals so that they are presenting themselves better. It's like the sound.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever heard a song that isn't EQ right, it's kind of like,
yeah.
It's not that the song is bad, the mix is bad.
Yeah, it's off balance.
It's off balance. So as individuals, you're helping us get a better mix. I like that.
I like that.
So,
yeah.
I was gonna ask you I still want to ask, if you can define what EQ consulting is for you.
Absolutely.
And how you do that.
So EQ is emotional intelligence. So emotional intelligence consulting involves working with individuals to become familiar with their self-awareness, their level of self-regulation, their ability to apply empathy to themselves and to other people, for their social interactions and skills or relationship management, and last but not least, their intrinsic motivation, which is what you do for your own joy and not for external validation, not for the accolades. It's the person who collects stamps. It's not necessarily to win any awards. They just enjoy the process of collecting stamps.
Right.
Maybe nobody else gets why you enjoy collecting stamps, but you do. Or it's the person who can't sing, but they love karaoke. That's intrinsic motivation. So I help people connect with different levels of themselves through those main 5 arenas.
Okay. Look, I cannot sing, but I do like karaoke.
I do enjoy karaoke.
So I do understand that. I do have a couple of questions that I want to ask. So being that we're talking about EQ, mix and mastering individuals, I want to start with, as a sound healer, how do you believe the use of sound and vibrations contributes to the process of self-discovery and healing?
Well, because everything is frequency, when you hear the connection and the coherence between certain frequencies, it resonates with you. I do strongly believe that we all come from one source. There's this sense of singularity, and there are certain frequencies that help us to reconnect with that awareness. That's why certain sound healers will use certain singing bowls, crystal singing bowls, that help to balance certain chakras or energy centers. Once we are balanced and in a coherent way between our heart and our brain connection, it's limitless, the possibilities for what we're capable of reconnecting with, and not necessarily just connecting with, becoming aware that that connection is there. we in our awareness are the only reason there's ever a sense of separation. We decide that we're disconnected. We feel that way, but that doesn't mean that it's true. And I think that using certain vibrations and frequencies helps remind people to disregard the illusion of disconnect and to really hone back in on this frequency that's calling you home.
So you're saying that sound is something that can bring us together?
Yes, bring us together, bring us into ourselves. We're all a part of a working machine, you know? We're all cells. And so when we're taking care of ourselves, we help the whole self operate more successfully.
That just brought up another, maybe it's a question, maybe it's something that I want you to clarify for me. So being that you can see sound that way, how does that affect me, like just listening to the music that I listen to every day? Is it affecting me? Or is it just music that I'm just listening to every day and shouldn't really be concerned about?
Well, it really comes down to, one, what you believe and the meaning you assign to that. I believe that...
I told you, you are what you believe. I'll keep telling y'all.
I completely agree. I believe that when it comes to music is healing for a reason. Okay. But it can also be destructive for a reason too. That's depending on what the intention and the motive is behind it. You've heard of people recording certain things that if you play backwards, it has some hidden message, this subtext, this sense of dread or darkness. I think that music can do a lot of powerful things, especially when you believe in it. And since I've been moved to tears by music for positive reasons, or I've been moved to tears by music because it hit in such a heavy way, I do think that it has an impact on my energy and motion, which is emotions. And so we got to see where music's taking us. And I think depending on the person, different music impacts them in different ways. Some person could be completely feel torn down by heavy metal, but someone else could feel amplified by it.
Right.
I know people who start their day off with like solid rap music because that gets them amped up and going. Other people, they need ambiance, they need spa sounds, you know?
Right.
So it really is based off of what you as a vessel need and being attentive to that, and that's part of self-awareness, which is emotional intelligence.
So what you are saying though is to begin to maybe pay more attention to the music because you can utilize that.
Yeah.
Or pay attention to how we're using it.
Yeah, how is it impacting you?
That's big because what I'm recognizing is we all like listen to music, but I don't think we actually pay attention to why we're listening to it.
No.
When you're happy, you put on certain happy songs. When you're sad, you don't want to hear happy songs. It's almost like you want to feed into that sadness.
Yeah, you want to add to the wound a bit.
Does that adding to the wound, is that something that, are we doing that maybe to reopen? Or I guess I'm saying the way I see that now is, if I'm sad, why am I not listening to a happy song to get me out of that mood? Or is being in that mood, is there something to that as well?
You know, have you ever seen the movie Inside Out?
Oh yeah, I have.
Isn't it good? So you might know where I'm headed with this. So who saved the day at the end of the movie? Sadness.
Right.
So sometimes when we are feeling a way, we want to listen to sad music because it can help us explore more of why we're feeling that way. And instead of just try to change it, which is fine in some moments and circumstances, maybe you just walked into a pocket of anxiety. So you put on something because that anxiety isn't about you.
Right.
You just need to get out of that space.
Right.
But if you're feeling something and you're curious about what you're feeling, listening to sad songs might bring up certain things. It might just lead you to ruminating on the past. That's often what's happening. But it could lead you to sitting in that moment longer, understanding it better, and then you can naturally, organically move to happy instead of just kind of faking it till you make it, which sometimes works.
But you don't know until you go. So we don't know until...
Losers. Inspire.